Hey everybody, I'm the Geico Caveman, and I have something I want to talk about. Skincare. It's important. You know, we all have our own methods, but this is the age of the internet. Alternative approaches to pretty much everything are very popular nowadays. And when I say the word alternative, I mean that as an adjective to describe something as not recommended by medical professionals. The anti-vax movement, dumbass diets such as the carnivore diet, taking supplements from podcasters to prevent colon cancer and autism. Ah yes, conspiracy theories as well. You know, our brand new Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK's whole vibe. But this extends beyond basic medicine. In fact, it goes into the realm of skincare, such as rubbing beef tallow on your face like a fucking weirdo, adjacent to the butter tan used by Kramer and Seinfeld. Stick a fork in me, Jerry. I'm done. But there is a skincare method that grows increasingly popular as the days move forward that dermatologists universally hate, and that is called the Caveman method. Pause. That is the funniest name in the world for something that should relatively be taken seriously. Why in God's name would anybody who is trying to have a healthy outcome do anything called the Caveman method? Unga bunga, me partnering with Ulta. You know those cave people who never showered, bathed, or wiped their ass? They had amazing skin. So essentially the idea here is you quit your skincare routine cold turkey. You do this for a period of time, say 1 week or 1 month, and you don't exfoliate your skin in any way. This means you don't even wash it with water, and you just let sweat, dirt, and dead skin build up on your face, perhaps to make a makeshift mask. Except instead of the mask being nice and smelling like lavender, it's made up of disgusting stuff, like dead parts of your body, filth, and pollution. In theory, it's supposed to be like a reset. After about a month of you not using products with any of those filthy chemicals in them, and also not using water to wash your face, when you exfoliate after all that time, you will have fresh and glowing skin. Now, a dermatologist would probably say, hey, that's absolutely fucking crazy to not clean your skin for a month. They would tell you all about a little something called dermatitis neglecta, which if you're not too great at etymology or deduction, it is a skin condition that is brought on upon by poor personal hygiene, or to put it another way, it is brought on by neglecting your skin. And they would probably not recommend shocking your body by jumping off of a routine that it has already gotten used to, especially if you have some sort of skin condition or if your skin just doesn't really do well without exfoliation on a semi-regular basis. After all, when you use a new product, your skin might be a little dry or break out a little bit because it's getting used to the new product, and a lot of people experience the same thing when they get off of a product. So it's probably not that great to just keep on repeating that process. And hey there, I'll throw you a bone. Dermatologists generally do not recommend going overboard on using products. That can have all sorts of negative effects on your skin. Likewise, if you're having skin issues and they can't immediately get to the bottom of it using tests, they might tell you to take a break from the products that you are using. But any dermatologist worth their weight in salt will insist that you continue to wash your face, perhaps with a light and unscented soap that is designed for sensitive skin, or at the very least, just wash your face with water. So the Caveman method, still not used to that name, has been around in, skincare blogs and internet spaces for a while now, but it has recently gotten some popularity because of this woman on TikTok, who is either on a generational rage bait run or desperately needs to clean her fucking face. I would like to establish this before we move forward and I seem like some stinky man on the internet who's dumping all over this poor woman with a skin condition. I am invested in skincare, and I definitely have a routine. Actually, hold on. So what I got in my hand is the Holy Four as far as my skincare goes. Okay, facial cleanser. It probably looks weird with the green screen. Okay, there you go. Facial cleanser, moisturizer as well. Do these every night and every morning. If the sun is out at all, sunscreen when I leave the house. This is probably the most important step in the whole thing. My cheeks get really dry, so I do a little castor oil, except it smells really nasty, so I usually mix it with a very safe amount of essential oil, like peppermint oil. And then other than that, sometimes I do like a little mask. Sometimes I do a little eye cream. It makes my skin feel really nice. A couple of my family members have gotten skin cancer on their face, so facial sunscreen is kind of a non-negotiable for me. I explained this routine to a dermatologist and they didn't seem to get offended or beg me to stop, so I take that as a good sign. I'm gonna put these back if you don't mind. Anyways, that was my defense. So please believe me, I am not some outsider in the world of skincare who's just shitting all over this random person on the internet for no reason. Yeah, so this woman is trying out the caveman method.
What you're seeing is dead skin that's gonna flake off eventually while like new healthy skin forms underneath. Like there's already some patches where you can see that new skin. I've basically stopped all skincare, I'm not using any water, and I'm just letting my barrier rebuild itself naturally. But yeah, for years I picked and over exfoliated and damaged my skin really badly, so it's just gonna take time. My skin is basically just shedding all the damage and attempting to re-regulate itself.
So a lot of people in the comments are concerned for this woman, including real-life dermatologists who are begging her to wash her face and run to a clinic. And a lot of people are convinced that it's 100% rage bait. We'll get into that. Let's move forward with a little bit of charitability and just assume that this is a real thing that is happening with her face. I don't want to diagnose anything. I am by no means a dermatologist. But I think that I can make this most basic call. Talk to a dermatologist. If they are on board with you letting these conditions progress, call another dermatologist and get a second opinion. That does not look good. But to be completely fair here, it looks completely par for the course for something called the caveman method. She is saying that this is a very real skin condition called retention hyperkeratosis. Well, that sounds like a hell of a thing. Let's go ahead and read up on it. Oh, look at that. It looks like there's a consensus from dermatologists that it should be treated and not ignored. It should be dealt with gentle exfoliation and maybe even prescribed ointments, creams, and other medications from your dermatologist. I could not find a single academic, intellectual, or medical source that recommends anything close to the caveman method for repairing your skin barrier under this condition. If she did get this advice from a dermatologist, that dermatologist would be the type to tell you that the cure for cancer is just some turmeric. But I do not think that she is consulting with any sort of dermatologist on this. I would imagine that if she did talk with a dermatologist, she would constantly insist that her dermatologist recommends this and this is the right course of action and have some sort of explanation as to why. But like I said, the language, the actions, everything, it kind of makes me feel like professional advice was not taken in regards to this. And if you ask me, it is not crazy to arrive at that conclusion because that is so incredibly commonplace today. To think that lived experience and personal calls from common sense trumps professional advice. And also, she is not really taking it easy and relaxing throughout this process. Here she is preparing for a half marathon. Let's take a look at that half marathon. Okay, I can see that the skin and dirt buildup changes colors in natural light. You're asking me, not something to be concerned about in the slightest. You gotta stay committed to win. You know, I have seen people do the caveman method before. Never seen the results change colors. That's an interesting development. They touched faces there. I'm saying because you got to be careful doing that. You might exfoliate a little. I could see the rainwater in the video, and water is a no-go for the caveman method. You got to be careful not to ruin that progress. That's all I'm saying. You might call these friends of her not good friends on the count of them not having an intervention, perhaps a skin intervention. See what I did there? Okay, I'll say myself that. But you got to think for a second. Maybe her friends are caveman pilled as well. Unga bunga. Okay, we're done being charitable. This very well could be rage bait. Some people are saying that this is a clay mask with foundation over it. The problem areas are lined up perfectly with where a clay mask would sit. It kind of looks like a clay mask in the running video, plus that would explain why her friend was totally cool with the face touch. But also, I'm not yet 100% convinced that this is rage bait. If you scroll back far enough, you can see this all begin, and you can see it progress video by video. And it also stays relatively consistent day to day. She does everyday errands, such as run a half marathon and go to the hairdresser. And finally, that would be a crazy amount of commitment. Wearing a clay mask that often is horrible for your face. Like, putting that on every single day will wreck your skin. Honestly, if it was rage bait. But here's the secret. It really doesn't matter. It does not matter if this is or is not rage bait. Like if it's real retention hyperkeratosis or dermatitis neglecta or perhaps even a fungal infection, she would finally exfoliate. And if it didn't completely destroy her face, she would say, wow, look how great the caveman method works. And on the other side of the coin, if it is rage bait, she will clean off the clay mask and say, wow, look how great the caveman method works. And yes, a lot of people will not believe her, will recognize that it is dangerous if it is not rage bait, and will probably avoid the caveman method like the plague, but a lot of people will be convinced by this. A lot of people will say, hey, looks like the caveman method works pretty good. And also, we've been talking about this for way too long. I don't know if this is an actual skin condition that should be taken a lot more seriously. I don't know if I'm completely wrong here. And a dermatologist did actually give good advice and say, just let a bunch of dirt and debris collect on your face and don't wash it ever. I'd be shocked if that was the case. And I don't know if it's genuinely or genuinely not rage bait. Whatever the truth is, I'm going to stop this conversation right here because this is not a drama slop channel. This is a comedy channel that operates within the realm of politics and pop culture. And this woman's skincare journey is not the entire point of this video. Rather, it is a jumping off point. I wish this woman nothing but the best if she ever decides to take a journey to get to the bottom of this skin condition, whether she is actually just rage baiting people for clicks or whether she is RFK beef tallow pilled. But I gotta say, you can call me crazy, you could call me chronically online, call me whatever you want to really, but I'll say it, this is kind of looking like a conservative alt-right pipeline. Crutches and Spice said this on her TikTok account, and I was instantly like, oh yeah, that's why I felt multiple layers of concern, like instantly. I mean, it would be a very undeniably funny pipeline, not gonna lie. But let's just tee this up. Like, really? We're doing something called the Caveman skincare method? That's ultimately just a holistic health thing that is centered around ignoring the advice of dermatologists? And we're having it all be framed as an online trend? There are people defending this woman tooth and nail in her comment sections. This one right here drives me crazy. Oh, I'm sorry? The people telling her to go to a dermatologist? Those are the ones spreading misinformation? And lots of people are leaving comments to the effect of, oh, what's the problem with her doing the caveman method? It's not like it's affecting you in any way. Just let her do her thing. Oh, but it is affecting me in many ways. Situations of instilling medical mistrust, such as this situation, is but a limb on the decaying forest creature, bloating in the well, poisoning all who drink the water. This woman, with a marketing degree, is going on the internet and racking up millions and millions and millions of views by essentially being an influencer. The product she's influencing? Ignoring medical professionals. I don't like how much ignoring medical professionals is happening already. I don't want people to get influenced to do that more. So sorry, I do actually have a problem with it, and it is actually affecting me. And yes, I agree that people are being very mean to this woman, especially so if she's not rage baiting and she does actually have a skin condition. But I think that I've been pretty tasteful throughout this entire video. But allow me to be candid and tasteful for a second. Stop doing this. You are making the world a somehow shittier place. Maybe you should listen to someone who is perhaps a medical professional. And this is like the most high profile cases of the caveman method ever. When you research the caveman method online, people will post before and after photos, and it will appear based on surface level research that is not backed up by actual medical and scientific research that the caveman method maybe does actually work. And thus people will be converted to the caveman method and build this habit of not trusting medicine, which leads to not trusting vaccines and other forms of medicine, which leads to believing conspiracy theories relating to health, which leads to listening to untrusted and unreliable opinions, which leads to stuff like eugenics, which of course leads to flat out scientific racism and horrifying philosophies relating to people with disabilities. It's called a pipeline for a reason. Bro, you're reaching. Bro, just touch grass. I've been told all of this before in 2016, my friends. And as somebody who has had bad feelings about all of the warning signs in online video gaming and comedy spaces back then, I do not like the looks of this one bit. And listen. If you want to live like a cave person, I fully support that. Like, hell yeah, let's learn from hunters and gatherers and not adhere to the rules of private ownership. Hell yeah, dude, let's engage in mutual community-wide prosperity. I am so goddamn caveman pilled. I'm just kidding. I'm not personally caveman pilled. Getting bonked on the head with a club sounds pretty shitty, to be honest. But to each their own. This whole of a pipeline that I am pointing out right now appears to just be one wave, an entire tsunami of alt-right pipeline content that is just beating everyone's feeds over the head like a sack filled with bricks. And there's so many examples of other pipelines popping up in other niches of content as well. For example, cooking and lifestyle videos to cottagecore lifestyle videos to ancestral living / homestead living lifestyle videos to straight up teaching conservative values pipeline. Funny side note, a lot of these cooking channels where they, like cook food in old timey ways and they dress like medieval homestead peasants. A lot of the equipment that they use to cook costs tens of thousands of dollars. And of course, there is the influencer to trad wife influencer content creator pipeline. It's actually funny, I just showed a video from Ballerina Farm. She is a famous example of a Juilliard admitted ballerina student with dreams of becoming a professional dancer, abandoning it all to become a trad wife content creator. They're really popping up all over the place. I swear to God, trad wives bite people like vampires. And I held off on talking about this in the beginning, but the most obvious one, fitness and dieting. Oh my goodness, never listen to anyone with a boiled chicken breast pounding eating disorder tell you to never enjoy a cheat meal. It's a make a deal with the devil type of situation. It's too much work to become a certified dietitian and to have an ethical and inclusive outlook on fitness. And to back the advice you push on your channel with scientific research. So instead, meatheads and mean girls gain popularity by fat shaming, promoting eating disorders, denying science, and being terrified of diet sodas. Oh my God, all of those Jubilee videos. Jesus Christ. So I hate debate content. I think that the people who watch them and actually change their mind in the face of compelling evidence, rhetoric, and research, I think that these people are unicorns. They are so rare to the point where I am just convinced that debate content creators are just communities of circle jerks. Just doesn't really seem like it's broadly swaying public opinion like it is supposed to do in theory. Plus, I'm not really a huge fan of giving these right-wing ghouls who constantly promote misinformation screen time on a politically neutral platform. Also, if you humiliate your opponent in a debate, they will not quit debating and their audience will still listen to them. Because copium is a very, 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 very strong drug. But with that being said, I can kind of get behind the argument that public debates and maybe even well done, well facilitated, and well edited debate content could be beneficial for the left. Like, it's certainly helping with education and forming talking points, but goddamn, for every step forward, Jubilee takes the whole thing 5 steps back. They are just always up to some bullshit. One of these days, Jubilee is going to make a video called Surrounded, one sexual assault victim versus 20 sexual predators, and we are all going to be expected to take that video seriously. Go ahead and call me a conspiracy theorist if you really want to. It is pretty apparent that we have 3 plagues that are currently infecting the world of skincare online. Beef tallow, caveman method, and not listening to your fucking dermatologist. The infection is growing. I'm sounding the alarm. You know, a lot of people who were ahead of the time were once called crazy. And trust me, I hope I'm wrong. Anyways, I think that's enough for today. I don't got much more to talk about. If this video can get at least one of the fellas to buy sunscreen, moisturizer, or facial cleanser, then I would consider all of this time well spent. Start your skincare journey. That'd be a win in my book. Hope you enjoyed the yap. I got a Patreon. I do exclusive content, perks, and video shoutouts. Link to become a patron in my description. Hope to see you there. Show me my patrons. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.